Happy Battleground, Gabe.
Happy Battlegrounds.
Yeah, that was. Ooh, that was actually.
That was a good pay-per-view.
That was a surprisingly good pay-per-view. Before we get too hard into it, though, I do want to make an addendum by saying that sorry we weren't here for Money in the Bank. You were in.
I was at a convention in Sacramento.
Yeah. So we basically, I saw the pay-per-view live, and I just showed it to him. It was about a few days afterward, and
Yeah.
I think that was one of those quick thoughts on Money in the Bank. It was one of those pay-per-views that were held together by the fact that there were two or three greats in the middle of just utter mediocrity. I can't imagine. I can't recall one or two matches that like the lower card matches, especially that Natalya Becky Lynch match, that tag match that just resulted in the worst heel turn of this year. Natalya, you are not believable as a heel.
I'm sorry.
Not now nor ever. You're Canadian. You just don't heel very well. It's true. Am I wrong?
She is. We'll get to her. We'll get to her.
Yeah, we'll get to her when in her turn in tonight's event. But of course, the six-man ladder match for Money in the Bank was a very, very good match, filled with lots of.
Oh, I always loved Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
He has this moment where he sets up this great spot where I think it was Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Sami Zayn, but it was somebody. They're up on the apron, and he puts up a ladder leading up from the ground to the apron, he gets all the way back up the ramp, like he's gonna run up the ladder and do like this amazing,
like running punt,
or maybe a senton splash or something.
Yeah.
He runs up to the ladder and he stops, and then he just walks. Then he just kind of just runs around the ladder and kicks him.
Yeah, the ever the troll Kevin Owens. And, of course, no one can forget that spot where Sami Zayn body slams Kevin Owens onto the wrong end of the ladder. Where he's, where, he's just completely splayed out and just...
great bump.
That was an incredible bump. And, of course, even, with our feelings taken into consideration, we do believe, at the end of the day, that the right man won the contract. And, seeing Seth Rollins pin... Roman Reigns clean, and then Dean cashing in right then and there. I don't think that pay-per-view could have ended any better.
Yeah.
It just couldn't have. But in between those great spots were just...
Certainly not that match.
Yeah. And, but as far as the pay-per-view as a whole, great high points, lots of middling, who gives a shit poke.
Yeah.
So, that's our feelings on... Lots of our feelings on Money in the Bank. Outside of maybe the AJ Styles John Cena match, where it was kind of fun. It really was fun at the beginning, and then it kind of turned into a John Cena match. But AJ won by AJ cheated to win, which these days that's the only way you're ever going to beat John Cena.
Yeah, and it led to a great great club moments.
Yeah, great like him.
I'm sorry, John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff. It's
like
my favorite stable at that point in time.
Yeah, so he's got a great heel run. And it will be interesting to see what he does with John Cena come SmackDown.
And then you had, I think, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, I think.
Yeah.
I believe that was the one where Ziggler won.
No, that was the one before.
Or was that was before that?
Yeah.
So this was
Corbin won, but...
Okay.
But you've seen one Baron Corbin match, you've seen them all.
And... very easy match to comment on. Pick up some more, get some more moves in your arsenal.
Please, Corbin. I cannot take another fucking punch match from you.
You have an amazing sidewalk slam. Everybody knows that. You can't take that sidewalk slam away from you. It's probably the best I've ever seen. But that is just the problem. If you can do that, what else can you do?
Please prove us wrong. So those are our quick thoughts on Money in the Bank. But right now, it's our favorite segment.
Yeah.
So, I have...
the shirt?
Yep.
All things considered, it's not that lame. Vampires and wrestling is win.
Yeah, but Buff Bagwell, that negates everything.
I I don't know.
All right,
Vampires wrestling, man.
Anyway, this is.
We're opening with mine because once again, it looks like he's going to be coming out on top.
But okay, Hot Topic bag. That's always good. Oh, more plastic bag. What do we got here? Thumpers. What? This is John Cena and Rey Mysterio thumpers. What?
These are for thumb wrestling matches.
Oh, you got
Even
it.
has a ring.
Oh.
Yeah. And look at those faces.
Oh, let's get a close up of these. Well, you're supposed to put these on top of your thumbs and have thumb wrestling matches with this?
Yes. And there's even a ring. You put your thumb into the ring.
Oh, that is tacky.
That is awesome. We're going to be doing that.
Oh.
We got to do it.
Oh, I love some of the possible matches you can have here. Now we got the John Cena and Rey Mysterio, but we could have also had Undertaker versus Kane and Big Show versus Ryback. I'm surprised you didn't get the Big Show Ryback version, or did they not have it? They didn't fucking have it, did they?
Well, the thing is, none of them had as good faces as that one. Look at John Cena.
Oh yeah, John Cena.
That's just so off.
That is.
What the fuck is that shit? Isn't Rey Mysterio looks like more like Ryback in a luchador mask than anything else?
But John Cena's face, I wonder if let's see if we can get an even closer look on John Cena's face. Come on, focus, you stupid son of a bitch. Focus. You can't see it. Oh well. Oh, here we are. Look at that. Look at that mug. Oh.
It's like the troll face or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something else in here. What is this? Oh, more of these stupid fucking dog tags.
That's the last one I have, though.
Oh, good. All right. Okay, what else? What do we got here?
And here's the piece of resistance.
Oh, you actually got me. You got me back.
I got you both of them.
You got me both bushwhackers. Recreate the action of WWE. Enzo and Cass. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon. Bushwhacker Luke and Butch. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is unappreciably lame. Oh, God.
They come with hats, too. That you can...
Oh, please tell me there's a price on this. I need to know how much you spent on this. No, there's nothing.
There's no price on it.
Oh, you motherfucker. You got me pretty good. You got me pretty good. I got to admit. Got me pretty good.
What's better than one bushwhacker? Both bushwhackers.
You got me on the...
Thinking outside the box here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. But for me, here's your gift. Here's your gift. I have to get it out.
So apparently there's a kind of complexity to this one.
Oh, yeah.
There's many layers to it, or
It's
many,
more about the reveal of it than...
Russian doll or whatever.
So, here's this gigantic box. I'm not going to be in the frame because it's so gigantic. So I'm just going to be back here commenting on what you... on the reveal of this.
Okay.
You want me to take your drink?
Yeah, thanks.
All right. All right.
So just
grab
it.
Just fish it out.
Oh no! 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 Oh no! I know what. Oh!
So really?
What am I supposed to do with this? All right.
It's a life-size stand-up of your favorite wrestler, Zack Ryder.
It is. You got me. You got me good. Yeah. You know, I was worried it was gonna be. I was wondering when the life-size stand-up was gonna come into play. I didn't imagine it was gonna be Zack Ryder. I thought it'd be like Roman Reigns or something.
No.
Zack Ryder.
That'd be too simple.
Tailor fit it.
Yep.
To my absolute.
Mm-hmm. The best part about this, though.
Let me get my.
Yeah, The best part about this, though,
Yeah.
is that they make these suction cup dildos, so you can plant it right here, so that way Zack Ryder can enter you.
Thanks.
Wouldn't you want that?
Thanks, man. That's great. Because you know how much room I have where I live.
Oh, yeah, of course. Look at that face. Look at that. Look at that scrunched up face. Once again, Bennett winning the lame gift wrestling gift champion. It's not even close. How you feeling, Gabe? Are you
Are
still
we keeping that at your place?
No, it's coming
No.
with you. It's your gift.
Great.
That's going to be the first thing you see in the morning.
What am I going to do with it?
Just put it in your corner. Doesn't take up a lot of room. Just takes up enough room.
I have enough trouble sleeping.
But seeing Zack Ryder's life-size...
You're going to pay for this.
Oh, believe me. Believe me, that is absolutely stunning.
People going to think when they come over.
Oh, they'll say, oh, he has crappy taste in wrestlers. It's like, you don't know the half of it. Ask him about Ryback.
Fuck you. Oh, you shut your whore mouth about Ryback.
Oh, it's the little...
Ryback is a treasure. Zack Ryder is a pestilence.
You see, the key to finding the greatest lame gift is to not go for the obvious terribleness. You got to find that specific little bit inside your target who just seems to get... He can't seem to unrustle those jimmies.
Or maybe I am just waiting. Maybe I have an entire plan laid out. Maybe I have, like, been stockpiling. And I'm just building up to it. Like, where can you go from there? Where can you go?
I'll find something.
He's bringing out the big guns early.
We're 3 months into this, okay? There's no such thing as coming in early.
Ah.
But now you and I are trying to beat that. I don't think you will. I might, but you won't.
I haven't brought out the big guns yet. Of course I could at least match it.
We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, let's get to Battleground. And speaking of Zack Ryder, the first note on the pre-show, which was surprisingly what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't terrible. It wasn't annoying. For one thing, they ditched that shucky ducky quack quack graphic.
Oof.
Which,
you know, I have a feeling that he probably still went for it, and they just
just
said, "Oh yeah, bring it up for him. Bring it up."
It's like
they just cut the whole thing.
Thank God. But Zack Ryder on his promo, still annoying as an underdog. I mean, Zack Ryder is 6'5", as wide as a barn door.
No one's buying him as having the disadvantage in most of the matches he's in. It's like,
He just doesn't win them.
yeah, I mean, it all comes down to skill at that point.
Yeah, and other stray comments, Booker T suggesting that Lita was going to be Sasha's partner. Why in the world?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, other than getting people's hopes up.
Yeah,
and no,
and pissing Lita off because she knows she can't do it.
And of course, when Booker was trying to predict the partner, he pronounced it without the T.
Oh yes, he said, "I predict it's going to be Lita." Lita.
Well said. Last thing. Oh, this is just painful. This was painful to sit through. Cesaro on the pre-show. One, why are you getting Cesaro in the pre-show? Other than to lambast him for going off the rails on your interview with JoJo about
Which I missed. Yeah, he explained it to me.
Yeah, like he came in like 30th in the draft, and like when they went for the interview with him, he was just kind of like, I wish it was higher. I feel like I've earned it. And Well, and it made everyone visibly uncomfortable. But how uncomfortable they were in that interview, doubly so on the pre-show. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, the heart stop and cringe.
It was like he had nowhere to go. He had not. He didn't have anything prepared. It seemed like.
No.
Like
no.
he.
He didn't have anything prepared, and all they were doing is just. It felt like it was between the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match. What could he possibly add to that?
Other than I should be in it.
Other than
I mean, not particularly their feud match, but like, well, I mean, that's what he was saying is that.
like,
That's basically all he had to say was I should be in the ring.
he's like, I should be in the ring, not up here, and
Yeah.
he has a point. English is probably his third or fourth language. And
Yeah, so I mean, I understand that, but also just it's not like we haven't seen him on the mic before, heard him on the mic before. He just he didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah,
He's like that. He was just in a complete cul-de-sac of a predicament, as far as whatever he said on that segment, and he wasn't he wasn't apologizing or anything. It's not like they made him apologize. It's just that it was just reiterating at that point.
Yeah, it's
for people who missed it, I guess.
Yeah, like I still have no idea. Like I have no idea why in the world he was on that, other than to embarrass himself.
Yeah.
Other than like this was some sort of punishment for like you want to be in the spotlight so much here, you get to be on the pre-show. Have at you, you know.
It's Cesaro. Why are they doing this? Why is he not in this? I don't understand why Cesaro is not getting the booking that he deserves. He is spectacular. It did not take long for me watching his matches to figure that out.
Yeah, I think I can only boil it down to the fact that he just cannot hold his own on the mic. Not very well.
No.
I mean, that has less to do with his intelligence or his well-spokenness, but it's just the fact that, like I said, English is probably his fourth language. When you grow up in Switzerland, you speak French, German, Italian, and English. I mean, because Switzerland is right in the middle of everything.
But he does have great body language.
Yeah, like
maybe they could get him a mouthpiece, kind of like.
Well, they tried that with Paul Heyman once upon a time ago, but for some reason the booking still wasn't there. Like they don't believe Cesaro can hold his own on a belt without a mouthpiece, and even with a mouthpiece, as it seems. Like I think they're just like overthinking the situation. Like the last time they had a belt on a person who needed a mouthpiece, maybe Yokozuna, and nobody remembers the Yokozuna years very well, especially.
But it's just that Cesaro has so much charisma, and wherever in and outside the ring, that. I mean, he's a likable personality. He's not just raw skill or muscle. He does have personality. Maybe I think they should get him like maybe a female mouthpiece.
Maybe
kind of like a Maurice for him, and maybe even make him a heel.
I would say that he is entertaining whether he's face or heel or tweener, but my thing with Cesaro boils down to you have main event guys, and he can work well with all the main eventers, but do I necessarily need him to have a belt on? And I don't think he does. Mm-hmm. I think he just needs to be playing in the upper card. Upper card. Like he doesn't need a belt. He just needs to.
He needs to be in the upper echelons.
Yeah.
And his skill needs to be in the mat.
Yeah, like
just like he says.
But then again,
on
the flip side of that, he's best when he's facing other people with his equal talent. He was never as good as he was when he was fighting Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I don't think that talent will come through with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It might come out with Seth Rollins. Maybe not Dean Ambrose, because like everything that Cesaro can do is also dependent on the person he's doing it with.
It's like that's the give and take of wrestling. Is you can be absolutely amazing at selling, and you can have a person who just has never you can be absolutely great at performing moves, but you have to have somebody who knows how to sell those moves, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, like Dolph Ziggler can make anyone look good, but that's because he can't make himself look good half the time. I mean, I remember Jim Cornette just talking about Ziggler as like the second coming of Kurt Hennig, and I said, well, Kurt Hennig had something that Dolph Ziggler never had, and that's offense. I mean, say what you will about ring awareness, and say what you will about body language and stick-to-itiveness, as like how you could teach somebody to do something and then it would just stick to them. You don't have to reiterate that point to get them to do the thing you want them to do. But Ziggler just doesn't have much in the way of an actual show. Like, they call him the show-off, but every single move he does really just doesn't scream show-off to me.
No.
It just...
Not when you have people like Sami Zayn.
Not when you have people like Kevin Owens. Exactly. So, like, I want... Like, Ziggler and Cesaro, to me, are in the same boat. Like, you got someone who has great offense, and he could sell well, too, versus a guy who probably could do better offense, but for some reason doesn't, and could sell amazingly well. Mm-hmm. Like, if only both of them were higher up on the card, their fights could mean something. But, like, if we saw a Cesaro-Ziggler match tomorrow, it wouldn't matter. Yeah. So, I guess what it comes down to is, again, the booking. But, that's just... It's the lack of faith in your talent to book them. That's what it is, I feel. But to actually get to the matches, the only match of the pre-show was a surprisingly good one, considering who was a part of it. The Usos versus Breezango. I had no expectations coming into it whatsoever, but there were some tasty spots. It
wasn't, for the booking, it wasn't a bad match.
No. But as I was saying, like, they set up an Uso for a slingshot, but instead of this, having him jump forward, they just kept the ankle lock, and then he would, the Uso, what was it, Jimmy Uso, or I'll say it's
Jimmy or Jay.
Like who one of the
who cares?
Who cares? One of the Usos
both of them are just as underwhelming as the other.
Yeah, falls forward right into Tyler Breeze's fist, and that works. There's you could say, like, again, he's still trying to shift his weight to stretch your your grasp of believability of the situation.
It's a slingshot.
That's but at least
the disbelief is already there.
But at least he's not launching himself forward. Yeah. He's not catapulting himself. He's just like a pendulum, just whoop. I can believe that. And that turned into a springboard elbow right across, right across.
Is that the one where they called it a... No, that was the actual springboard.
Yeah, but he springboards, right into an elbow, catches him while he's falling down, and that was a great spot. Never seen that before, well executed, and I was saying, wow, that automatically notches it up a star in my book. You went from 0 to 1. Way to go. But as the match moved on, again, it was that notion, like, who's the legal man? Doesn't help when two of your wrestlers look exactly the same. So I don't know if it's Jimmy or Jey Uso who's the legal man. I don't even know which one of them is in the ring. And especially if you're going to be looking that far back.
Yeah.
So that's, as far as tag teams are concerned, that's why I don't like tag partners that look exactly alike or dress similar.
Yeah, well,
They need to have some kind of more concrete, identifiable mark on them. I mean, they're twins, so they're automatically automatically working against it.
I fucking hate the Uso fuck boys.
Yeah,
I just don't want to see them anymore. Just don't want to.
No. And once again, coitus interruptus wrestling at work here. They were setting up for an electric chair, but then they stopped it midway to do what was essentially like a swan dive off the turnbuckle. Like, if you were just going to do that anyway, why interrupt the electric chair? It's been a long time since I've seen a good electric chair done.
Yeah.
So,
Usos at work again.
Well, the Usos were setting up the electric chair. It was Breezango that interrupted it. But I don't know, like the making of that match was so weird to me, because if you're going to do that spot, which is very similar to an electric chair, why interrupt the electric chair? I mean, like, this crowd is sedate as all hell anyway. Might as well do a move that one will fire up the crowd, and two, is relatively rare.
The electric chair you see it set. Well, honestly, it's not like this first time. You see it set up a lot of times just so that somebody else can jump off the top to get the top guy, and sometimes it's intentional because it's a tag team move.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Legion of Doom had something like that back in the day.
Yeah.
Started with an electric chair and a turnbuckle, I think, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a clothesline at the top. But yeah, it would be nice to actually see that move
Done.
completed. But I'm really happy to see the Usos buried by Breezango.
I wouldn't call I want to call it a burial because Breezango and
It's Breezango.
at least
You're beat by Breezango.
Yeah.
I think that is just being buried.
I don't know, like Breezango was buried by the Golden Truth. Golden Truth is the absolute nadir of the tag team.
It's true.
I would take the Usos over the Golden Truth any day of the week.
Or maybe I guess the Social Outcasts don't count. They're not a tag team.
Or the
Stable.
Ascension. The Ascension. That's
Oof. Okay, you know what? Let's set up a baseline. Ascension is the lowest it can be right now because they haven't won a match since NXT. I think just about since six.
it just seems like
And it's funny because in NXT
they were
the longest running tag team champions.
Yeah, I know. It's
They were just absolutely brutal. They were.
Yeah, like they were booked strong, and
They
then
were really strong.
and then the WWE happened, and the hammer fucking dropped on them.
What the hell happened? I
Which-
mean, it's like watching them, they never were really very talented.
Yeah, but I feel like this. If I can go off the beaten path here, I feel like that's what's happening to the Vaudevillains. I feel that's what's happening to them. I mean, they got drafted to SmackDown, which I'm glad for them, but like the way the Vaudevillains have been booked. Just feels like, ugh, like they were under like the stress of the New Day. Like the New Day was just going to be the top dog no matter what, and then they just kept falling and falling and falling down to the wayside. And I wouldn't be surprised if the group splits up within the next 6 months. And
That's sad. I really like the Vaudevillains.
Yeah, me too.
Uh,
But I mean, whereas the Ascension, started up high and then just plummeted immediately. They're starting to tank, and I don't want them to be the new Ascension. But you're right on that front.
I don't know. The Ascension, I'm amazed they're still together. I mean, what happened was they got split up for a while. I think that bigger guy, I forgot his name.
Doesn't matter.
He was, I think he must have got injured or something. And his other half, the scalpel of the group, I forget his name as well because
Doesn't matter.
it's them. And he was left to fend for himself in main event for many a month. I think for about 2 or 3 months. And every fucking match he had, he lost.
It's just
And it was just like every fucking main event was, who are we going to see him job to today? It was, I mean, it's like at that point, I just felt sad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not like they're that bad.
No, but anytime you feel like you want to get behind someone that you know will lose, you're just kind of defeating yourself at that point. It's just like, why do I want to get myself...
I think his name was Victor.
Victor, Connor, something like that?
I think it was Victor. Or Connor, something.
Either way. The point being, Ascension, as far as we're concerned, and I think most of the wrestling community is concerned, bottom of the barrel. Golden Truth is a joke.
Is a joke.
It's an absolute goddamn joke.
It was never meant to be anything else.
But you know what? They beat Breezango. Ascension didn't beat Breezango.
And Breezango, who was beaten by Golden Truth, defeated the Usos.
So
Fuck the Usos. I would love to see the Usos go up against the Ascension and actually ascend the Ascension.
wow,
I like the Ascension more than the Usos. I'm saying it.
Oh shit, son.
I'm calling it. I'm calling the Usos out.
You put the Ascension over the Usos.
As a matter of fact, I think that we could beat the Usos.
I'm not saying that.
Because we'd be
That's all him. He's going off script.
Because we'd be booking it.
So what? We're like fucking Dusty Rhodes booking our wins.
Yes.
Dusty, you were the American Dream once, but it's easy to be the American Dream if you're writing the script. I mean, he gets a lot of praise for being a good booker, but then like when you're literally booking yourself.
What we got next?
We got the first match on the card, card proper rather, is Charlotte versus Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks and Bayley
It's Bayley!
debuting in a meaningless tag match.
I was so happy to see Bayley. She's really growing on me since I've been watching old NXT from like 2014, and oh my god, I mean, I thought maybe at first that it was just all gimmick that I was into, but she is a skilled wrestler. She really is, and you know, and she stands out because she's actually, even though she plays like a kind of underdog or someone who initially was unsure of her own ability, she actually is a kind of larger than some of the other women in the business.
Yeah.
She's actually a pretty good physique.
Yeah, like Bayley never once crossed my mind as someone who isn't going to win the women's championship someday.
Yeah.
Like she is a main eventer in that.
She women's NXT champion for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And the problem with Bayley was that, like, you know, you ascended Mount Everest in NXT. What is there left to do but drop the belt to Asuka?
Yeah, see others like Tyler Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he held the NXT championship.
Yep.
He was,
same thing with Finn Balor. Finn Balor.
but Finn Balor hasn't made the transition yet. He just got elected or drafted.
He just got drafted to Raw.
Tyler Breeze made a main event many a time in NXT before getting taken to Raw or SmackDown, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Breezango happened. So that's what happened to Tyler Breeze.
I don't think
He was a very heavy gimmick.
Mm-hmm. I do not think this is going to happen to Finn Balor.
That guy is taken way too seriously, and he takes himself way too seriously to let that happen.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I feel like if Finn Balor, it's really up to him whether or not he actually does cut the mustard as far as WWE is concerned, because it's not going to be the booking's fault. He's going to be booked to the stars.
Finn Balor does not strike me as the kind of guy to take shit.
Yeah.
He just doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I think that he would just, fuck it all, back to Japan before that kind of shit happens to him. He just ain't gonna take it.
No.
I don't see it happening. Just like Samoa Joe doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would take that kind of shit.
No.
A lot of people in NXT, like Shinsuke Nakamura, a lot of people in NXT. That's why I'm watching old NXT episodes back to back, binging them, and not watching regular WWE shows.
But to steer this conversation back to the match itself, which was, I wasn't sure what to expect because, as I said, Dana Brooke, as we all know, Dana Brooke is still learning. Although, why the fuck wasn't she learning in NXT for longer than she was?
She had maybe one or two matches in NXT, it felt like.
Yeah, like
in recent history, and
she desperately needs more seasoning. But credit to her, she's learning quickly. But
I like her gimmick. I like the strong woman gimmick. It's hard to see her as a a protege because she's a former bodybuilder, and it's like it feels like she would be booked sort of like a smaller Beth Phoenix, a small powerhouse.
It's basically the female Taz.
Yeah,
but the thing is, like, Taz knows how to throw in a chin lock and a suplex. She tries to throw in a chin lock, and she has no anchoring.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't lock the knee to the back or anything like that. She's literally just putting like that, like, just behind her, and that's supposed to be enough.
Yeah, it's when you're just putting your hand on them and you're pulling, what force are you getting against them in opposition? You have to think about those kind of things, and she's unsure about selling. It's just the flow that she needs to get, and I think when she gets it, I'm really gonna enjoy seeing her in matches. I really hope it happens. Her entrance is awesome. That flip she does, or the whatever you call that.
Oh, you mean
you get a running start and you just flip yourself without even doing like a handspring.
Unlike Charlotte, who
actually has to do the whole.
But that's more graceful.
It's more graceful, but what she does is just fucking awesome and impressive. It's awesome.
But
a gymnast, I guess.
But there was a good number of great spots, great memorable spots. There was the very, very dangerous looking Hurricane Rana, where it looked like the way that Bayley turned the no, it was Bailey who turned the Hurricane Rana, and she almost landed like on the back of her neck. It looked like that could have ended really badly, Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with where she was dropped. It looked like it was like Snake Eyes, only it was on the back of the head where she got dropped on the turnbuckle, and so you could just see her like whip back and forth, and that just oof. Oh, like ever since Enzo, you're just so worried about the ropes and the turnbuckle doing a number on you.
Salt.
Yeah, God. But like the very first move that Bailey did when she entered the ring was a corkscrew elbow, and tasty move that was. Very, very tasty. Of course, called wrong.
Yeah, it was called what they call springboard elbow.
Springboard elbow, but no, corkscrew.
Oh man, I mean, it would have been better for her to come at SummerSlam, but I'll take it.
I mean, like
it's Bailey.
It was a good match, but I think Bailey she outshone Sasha Banks.
Oh yeah,
she really did, and that might be because like it's her WWE debut, and you can't especially how popular she is with NXT. There was just no way.
She's not. She is almost like it feels like she could ascend to a Daniel Bryan level of female wrestling.
Yeah.
Because of that huge support, the spirit behind her.
She's being the Daniel Bryan by doing everything like John Cena. She is John Cena.
We both said that it seems pretty par for the course to have her team up with John Cena.
Yeah. And we're just waiting for it to happen.
Or the New Day. She's got the right color scheme going on and everything. Power of positivity.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm not in love with her finisher. Bailey to belly suplex.
I am. The hugplex.
The hug. I get it.
It's not the most showy thing.
It's not.
But the gimmick is great.
I'll put it to you like this: without the gimmick, the move is shit.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not shit. Ken Shamrock sold the fuck out of belly to belly.
Yeah, belly to belly, but he went over them. He didn't just side slam them.
No, he did. Well, what he would do is he didn't. I guess he didn't do a belly to belly suplex. He did a belly to belly slam, I think, or something. Mm-hmm. He would just pick them up and then just sack toss them down.
Yeah, that works better. But whereas Bailey, kind of twirls around.
Yeah,
and then
sometimes it does feel almost like kind of like when you spear somebody with not very much momentum, and you just kind of both go to the floor.
Edge.
But I have seen her in NXT do some good belly to bellies. Good belly to Baileys.
So, I'm just not... I've yet to see them.
May not have been her best. So sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
And a lot of that also has to do, I think, with the person selling it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, but as I said, it's basically a belly-to-belly side slam. It's not a suplex. You're not bridging. You are not tossing them. You're just twirling to the side.
She could use the move could use some upgrade, but I would like to keep it the hugplex.
Yeah, but if you're...
Or maybe give her a new finisher, but make that her signature.
True. Yeah, but, keep the hugging, but actually toss them. Don't just, woo! But last, but certainly not least...
Even better if she just has, the biggest grin when she hugs them, and then just ejects them out of the ring or something.
Hug life!
If she doesn't have Hug Life shirts already... I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to go get mine with the next thing I'm going to do when I'm on the network or whatever, I'm going to get my Hugplex shirt, my Hug Life shirt, and my KO Owens fight. Or no, Headlock Master. Headlock Master.
Purple and yellow shirt. And the last but not least, one spot I want to mention, there was I forget if there's a name for this move. Excuse me. If there's a name for the move where you basically splay out your opponent on the second ropes at the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
I don't think they're really...
the Sasha Banks.
Yeah, Sasha Banks where she just basically puts her knee right in the middle of Charlotte's abs.
It's kind of like what Roberto Del Rio does. Alberto. It's like a tongue twister. It's like a tongue twister, man. Alberto Del Rio. Good on the announcers. Alberto Del Rio. Torito. Anyway. But he does that finisher that I think is possibly the worst finisher of all time, where the guy has to do we've spoken about this many a time.
Like hang him from the tree
where
of
he has
woe.
to do hang him from the tree of woe, and then the guy has to willfully do a fucking 10-second sit-up
while he
stomps on him, which is actually the stomp part we've established is really, really brutal because it can send you into cardiac arrest. But Sasha Banks does what I think is the better version.
Yeah, but she doesn't do the stomp, nor she does the aim for the chest. She does for the abs.
But I'll take it for its believability, more believability.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm of the opinion that I will extend my believability as far as need be if I can look at something that looks fucking dangerous.
Okay, see Finn Balor's coup de grace.
Coup de grace, yeah, I'll be the same thing. Same thing with this coup de grace. Although I don't know if he'll ever actually use that move in WWE. I mean, if they blocked Seth Rollins' this curb stomp, I don't think he's going to use the coup de grace in WWE.
Yeah.
So, if that happens,
I hope he does.
Yeah,
but I also don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah, if that happens, correct me. Yeah. But until then, I'm just gonna cast a jaded eye on that actually happening. Oh, by the way,
I hope the makeup comes with Finn Balor.
Oh,
I hope it doesn't get left behind.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Banks and Bayley won. Just in case, yeah. But this
no titles or anything like that. There's no women's tag team title, which there should be.
There's enough women to have a good tag team division.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but now this was a match that could have gone so wrong in so many ways, but wound up being second or third best match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
New Day versus the Wyatts. Where in the world did Eric Rowan
learn to wrestle?
When did Braun Strowman learn how to wrestle?
It's like why did they wait till the last time they're all supposed to allegedly be together to learn? Like, oh shit, man, this is our last match. I guess we better learn to wrestle. Fuck you. You should have done this a long time ago.
Maybe, but...
Or maybe this was just like a dying attempt to, not get just put into main event.
I suppose so, but I keep coming to this match as saying, like, as a thing, like, this is a story-based match. It's been a long, long time since we've had a good story-based match. And there was enough spots where it was like, they're actually telling a goddamn story here. It's not just punch, sidewalk slam.
And shots at Baron Corbin.
Again, but, like, it's a match with a story, and it's more than any of the other, even the triple threat match at the end of the card didn't.
I just realized
what
Baron Corbin has the moveset of Boss Man. Punch, sidewalk slam. Just he does a way better sidewalk slam.
Must we continue to bury fucking Corbin? Because he still has a chance to improve himself. Boss Man's dead.
I'm not the one who brought it up. I actually I have more hope for Corbin than you do.
I'll swallow my words if it ever comes to...
Rest in peace, Boss Man, but your moveset sucked. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, but also sorry.
But back to this, the story match. It was... I love the fact that Wyatt, both Bray Wyatt and God, I just said his name.
Eric Rowan
and Braun Strowman realized that we don't have to be showy. We just got to be brutal, and we have to be precise, and we have to, let the story be told. And the story is Xavier Woods trying to get over his fear of Bray Wyatt, and so many times in this match, there was these great spots where Xavier Woods was afraid to do something, and Bray Wyatt is just kind of giving him, like, what are you going to do about it?
Oh, man, it's nice to see Bray Wyatt actually back in wrestling at full, capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the bridge walk. Oh, my God, that is so good from a man of his size. That is incredible. How does he do it?
My back tips its cap to your back. And for some reason, I know it's lame, but Eric Rowan doing the head crush, where he's just putting it...
Oh, yes, like the mountain.
Oh! Like Eric Rowan just, like, putting, I believe it was Kofi Kingston's head right between his fists, and just like a cassava melon, he's going to just... I would have loved. I love silly shit like that when it's done by believable people, and I can believe Eric Rowan. When he puts his fist between your temples, it
It's
hurts.
gonna hurt.
Yeah,
You're gonna have a headache.
and that and whew, the height that the New Day were able to achieve when they were chokeslammed. Xavier Woods, fucking Kofi Kingston, when they were getting chokeslammed by both Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan, it was like a showstopper from Big Show. It was just all the way up and then slam back down.
It was really good. This whole match surprised me with how great it was. The moves being pulled out by the Wyatt family, who normally throw mostly just strikes, doing some pretty good grappling and diving through the ropes.
And seeing Braun Strowman splay a leg, take a big boot, missed big boot, and just throw himself over the ropes. That was, I mean, it was awkward, but how could you not be awkward when he's 6'10" and 350 pounds?
I mean, try purposefully just letting yourself fall to the floor. Just as like in those improv classes or whatever. Just like it's a hard thing to willfully do that to yourself. And it's not like he knows he's not going to connect with the boot. He knows he's going to go over the turnbuckle. He knows that he weighs a fuck ton.
Yeah, and he did it, and he did it safely because he got up and still did it.
So kudos to you. That takes a lot of freaking guts to do that.
Yeah, especially over the turnbuckle. It's not. And speaking of guts, Big E. I know you're all right because the WWE would have told us something was wrong, but. Holy Christ.
Saw him take the bump to end all bumps.
Launching yourself through the second rope into a human torpedo and land on the apron on the back of your head. Scariest moment of the night. Absolute scariest moment of the night.
Because you never see him again after that, taking that.
Yeah,
And, I mean, it's like I wanted to follow what was going on after that as much as I could. But I just really wanted them to cut back to him because I wanted to make sure that he was moving. And they don't, so you just assume that he's all right because they would have mentioned They would have mentioned it. You would Twitter or something.
But
they're very good about that these days.
Yeah.
They don't cover up when people get hurt.
Yeah, and as I said, that's not checking up on Big E was kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But at the very least, if there's something did happen, they would have had to do an Enzo. And it's okay, we're X the match. One of our wrestlers are incapacitated, but at the very least, we know he wasn't immediately incapacitated. We don't know, if tomorrow he found out oh no, he bulged a disc in his neck.
Yeah, but he wasn't. We're pretty sure he wasn't immediately.
Yeah, he's fine in the immediate future. Check back tomorrow to see if Big E didn't, fucking.
Yeah, because we always said that eventually he's going to. This is just it seems like as long as he decides to keep doing these risky movesets, diving through the ropes and everything with his weight, it's it can only end badly at a certain point.
Yeah.
But damn, it's impressive.
Yeah, and we're gonna applaud you every time you do it. We're gonna applaud you, but just know this: every time you do it, we're waiting with a bated breath, just like.
Yes, we certainly have the power of positivity.
But yes, we're the power of We're positively sure that you're going to put yourself in a wheelchair if you're not careful.
Yeah. But man, I was thinking, with the Wyatt, so the Wyatt family did get split up. So this was their last match together, supposedly. Although we did just establish that they're an entire cult, they have an entire compound full of Wyatt family members, and I'm wondering who the new Wyatt family members are going to be. If I really thought for a time that Xavier Woods was going to join the Wyatt family. I thought that was what was going on. It might still happen.
But
I'd like to examine a different outcome, which is where Bray Wyatt joins the New Day. Because they're both a power, a polar opposite power. Positivity and fear and
if he was kind of held at gunpoint to come on, positively dance with a New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks.
New Day rocks.
New Day rocks.
Today rocks. But I mean,
that would completely quash the character, though. So,
well, like the power of positivity wins him over. You know, you get Wyatt twerking and everything. Oh fuck! I'm just
you are just
cringe.
Yeah,
cringe land right now.
You are
the power of cringe.
I'm glad the Booker's pen is not in your hands. Jesus, fuck, man.
Hey, if it can happen one way, with people being abducted into the Wyatt family, it can happen the other way. It's not saying I want it to happen.
Wyatt family wins, and a much needed win, I think.
Yeah,
and not unexpected because the belts weren't on the line, but I'm sure he needed that. He's definitely needed that win, and that was one. And I love the fact that it was Xavier Woods that took the fall. Like he was the one who got pinned by Bray Wyatt. Very nice touch.
Yes. There. Watch out for the new Bray.
Rusev versus Zack Ryder for the U.S. Championship. Now, even though the last match was the most surprising of the surprising match on the card, this is second most surprising. Just by the fact that I wasn't expecting anything, and it was, oh, okay, all right. It was a fine match. I mean, physically speaking, there's some nice spots, a reverse suplex into a net breaker by Zack Ryder. He also delivered a really hell of a nice missile drop kick, as well as a Rough Rider. But once Rusev locks you into the accolade, there's just nothing you could do. And poor Zack Ryder getting buried yet again.
Poor Zack Ryder.
Poor Zack Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Zack Ryder. And then Mojo Rawley shows up to scare away Rusev.
So Mojo showed up from NXT. I guess that's his debut. He got drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah, he got drafted to SmackDown.
So I think Mojo has a very mixed crowd response.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people like him, sometimes they really hate him. I can't hate him because he really his gimmick is literally the man with too much energy for normal sports. He's the power thirst guy.
He's power thirsty, like literally power thirst is flowing through his veins.
Yeah, and he does almost bear blasting moves where he like just body attacks you, where he just flying body press. He does push-ups at the drop of like at the turn of a dime. He just like he does those turnovers and everything. He just runs around the ring. Is like he really does. He does the gimmick well.
He like burpees and whatnot.
Yeah, burpees and everything else I was looking for. And I mean, maybe he's not the most skilled wrestler, but he's really a fun wrestler for me.
He's an infectious wrestler, I suppose. Yeah. And even though I look at him and I don't want to watch him, I mean, him and Zack Ryder could probably. Didn't they do the Hype Bros thing?
Yeah, they were tag team.
They were the Hype Bros.
Kind of still are. Like they reunited about 3 weeks ago or so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Hype Bros. At least that's something for Zack Ryder to do.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I mean, honestly, I could see Zack Ryder and Ziggler teaming up and losing tag matches.
But other than that, not much. Not much here to really talk about, other than JBL's best comment of the night.
Oh yes, about Byron.
Oh yes, it's like, no, we won't miss you, Byron. Like as he's making his way back to SmackDown.
So my strongest Pokemon in Pokemon Go is Bailey.
I thought it was Kevin Owens.
Not anymore.
Your Poliwrath?
Kevin Owens surpassed her for a while. But the thing is, Evolutions have the highest CP capacity, so Bailey is now my number one. Vaporeon. Oh, also, I have surpassed Xavier Woods' level in Pokemon Go. I'm now 22.
Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Match of the night, as was expected.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently putting on Match of the Year candidates. This one is certainly no exception. I want to say, though, You know what it is? It feels like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens keep inning it up, and I'm left wondering, where's there to go?
Yeah, I mean, they've been feuding in NXT, they've been feuding
Yeah.
on Raw and SmackDown or whatever, and main event. It's just...
Yeah, there's just nothing. There's just, like, it feels like if this is going to be their last match, then, you know, great note to go out on.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as kayfabe is concerned, like, why would Kevin Owens just suddenly stop caring about Sami Zayn?
Yeah. Especially when he lost the match.
Yeah, especially since he lost the match, and especially since now they're still on Raw. So it's like...
They're both still on Raw.
Yeah, they're both still on Raw, so it just feels like, how could this be the end? Great end, but how could this be the end? And
yeah,
that's...
Where else can you go?
Exactly. So knowing that, with all that in mind, rather, I will still say that this... I'm debating with myself if this is their best pure match. I mean, it's hard to argue against it, or at the very least, you have to give pause to really ask yourself, like, is this their best match that they
Every match they have is really, it surpasses the...
It's like, you see them do the spots, you know what's going to come, and then you know what, like, if it's going to be reversed or not. But what I think separates this from any of their other matches is that the theatrics of it. This was the best theatrically inclined match that they ever had. More than, like, you know, Kevin Owens just knowing where he is in the arena, and so he can just, like...
Oh, yeah,
More than just that, it was also Sami's...
The drama was excellent.
Like,
the facial expressions.
Yeah, like, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens knew exactly what they were doing, where they were, and know which spot to do, like, to put on, like, that, like, I'm going to kill you face.
And they were really in character.
Yeah, this was more than just a wrestling match. This was an actual, honest to God, theater. This was wrestling
as theater.
Wrestling as theater. This was, as Gabe made the comparison, this was like Coriolanus.
Yeah.
When for those of you who don't know, it's
recently had an adaptation with Ray Fiennes.
It's one of Shakespeare's.
Butler.
It's one of Shakespeare's lesser known plays, and as he said, Ray Fiennes, Gerard Butler. It's about a general who all he knows is war, and now he has to learn how to be a politician during wartime. When all he knows is, you know, a warrior in wartime. So, like, there's these, and the beats in this match were very much, you know, of that kind of mindset. Yeah. And but it was
just a very Shakespearean kind of fight.
Yes, it was. Like, starting from the beginning of the match, when where we got like a ball buster, you know, for lack of a better term, because I don't think there really is a name for when you catch somebody up on the ropes and they fall and hit their gonads on the ropes.
Yeah. I think that I think Taz calls it the hitting the yambags, yambag drop.
Yambag drop. Thanks, Taz. But, you know, he dropped him on his balls on the rope, tossed him over, and then Kevin Owens finished it up with a nice, tasty cannonball right in the corner. Hard.
Oh, man, his cannonballs were freaking hard sold tonight.
Ooh,
man. Sami got every inch of that, Kevin Owens.
Like, in the early reigns, like, Kevin Owens just fucking dominated. Like, he even did the finger stomp right on his hand, like, on his fingers, and he was just, like, lapping up the misery. And, again, credit to Kevin Owens for those theatrics. Of course, him playing control again. You know, he was kicking him in the back, and then he went for another kick. Looked like he was going for another kick, and even Sami flinched.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure about that spot. I couldn't tell if Sami really thought that there was going to be a kick at that point and flinched, because he's not looking behind him.
No, but, you know, instead, he just goes for a headlock. And, of course, while he's got that headlock cinched, Kevin Owens is just trash talking to the ref. It's like, he wants to give up. He wants to give up.
He says yes.
He says yes. And then, like, you know, Sami's trying to get his fingers...
I love it when Sami, like only they really do this, or maybe Ziggler. Ziggler's done it too. Yeah. But they put their hand up on Kevin Owens' face, and he's like a spider, and he's just like, get off. It's almost like he's biting his fingers. So there was still some comedic beats in this match, even though it was very, very passionate. Yes. But then
he rubbed his beard right on his face, like right on Sami Zayn's face.
Beard burn.
Oh god! We decided that he is no longer headlock master. He is hamlock master.
Yes, that's what we dub him the Hamlock Master because he is a fucking ham.
And no one hams it up better than he does. Which turned into the next noteworthy spot was actually another one of those. Oh god, we just saw Big E. We just saw Big E take a spill and nearly cracked his head open. And same thing with Sami Zayn. He got some wind back, and he went for what looked like a Pele kick. Pele kick from springboarding.
Oh, the thing he does where he does like a leg drop on the top rope.
Yeah, but
to bounce himself off into a springboard, lion salt looking thing.
Yeah, so he bounced up, he undershoots, his feet manages to connect to Kevin Owens' head, so Kevin Owens has something to sell, but then lands on a heap of himself right on the apron.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he still connects, though.
He still connects, but
I think Kevin Owens really good, awareness there to be in the right place, regardless of the botch or.
Yeah. Well, what was the brilliance of this though was that when he landed wrongly on the apron and he's clutching his shoulder, Kevin Owens had the presence of mind to work on that shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's what had us thinking, was that kind of like a work botch? Was that because it looked like he purposefully undershot it. Because, I don't know how many times he's done it, but I've never seen him, loop so lackadaisically just to get the...
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him hit that many times in NXT, and I can't remember a single time he botched it. In fact, he does the one where he fakes you out a lot, too, where he runs to the ropes, hits off of them like he's going to do it, but then he just goes right back in the ring and to, mess with people's heads.
So, I'm thinking, was that a work botch, or was that a botch that they had the presence of mind to just try to use that as a story point in the wrestling match?
I think it was a botch.
Yeah, and
because it just looked too good to be a work.
It looked too good to be a work, but then that turned into the biggest surprise of the night.
Or, sorry, it looked too bad to be a work, I guess I'm saying. It looked too real.
All right. But that led to what I felt was the biggest surprise of the night when Kevin Owens saying wait a minute, he has an injured shoulder. I should put him in the crippler crossface. Yeah. I've never done the crippler crossface. Why don't I just put it in there and then put him...
this is where our experience with wrestling is completely on a observant level. Mm-hmm. That we haven't been through tough enough.
No.
I admit it.
I
know we look like we've been through tough enough because.
Yeah. How could we not?
Yeah. But I don't know how much spontaneity there really is in wrestling. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of what they do is improv. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they have marks where it's okay, stop points of at this point in the match, we're going to hit this, and everybody's going to be in their position to do it.
I believe that the structure of a match is looser the fewer people that are in it. The more people in it, the more choreographed it has to be.
Yeah.
In order for it to make coherent sense. So for a 2-person match, especially for somebody for people that have worked together for as long as they had, I think that they know what their spots are going to be.
They have developed a good tap communication.
Mm-hmm. They know exactly what they're going to do. They know exactly where they need to be in order for that to happen. But when it actually happens, that's really up to them, I think, at the time, and feeling the crowd.
Yeah.
That's what...
I like to think about in the final match.
Oh, yeah.
With Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But, that's what Jerry Lawler, that's what Jim Cornette, rather, was talking about with Jerry Lawler as being the best ring general that he has ever seen. It's just somebody who knows how to call the spots, where to call the spots, and when to call the spots without letting the audience know that he's calling the spots. So, and that's very, very much on display. If you look at this match purely on all right, what are they doing and why are they doing it? It's almost like a masterclass. And how to put on a grade A numero uno match, and so working for the crippler crossface segue into finally
or crippler crossfade or the whatever they call it now. Yeah. Is it still?
I believe You ask, I don't think they want to call it the crippler crossface because of Benoit, but they can't call it the yes lock or the no
Yeah.
lock. So it's just, they said, like, they're doing a move.
Yeah.
But,
The move which must not be named.
exactly. But, yeah, but so finally Sami Zayn gets some wind back, and he starts unleashing an offense that I can't even describe, like an exploding suplex in the corner, followed by the move of the night, the brain buster on the apron. Now, it's been a hot minute since I've seen a brain buster, probably even longer for you.
Yeah, when they called it Brainbuster, it suddenly all came back to me in like a flash. I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, that was a Brainbuster. It's just, it reminds me of how much the Brainbuster was like, so.
Yeah, like you could just say like a brain buster is just a suplex that's gone wrong.
Yeah, that's when they broke out the brain. I mean, maybe that's the the invention of the move was simply somebody dropped someone on their head during a suplex, and the announcer called it shit. It was a brain buster there.
The brain buster. That might have been where I don't know why the brain buster is a thing when it just looks like a suplex.
I mean, the funny thing is, though, if that's how it happened, when the brainbuster's done right, it's a suplex. You're not actually supposed to drop the guy and give him a concussion. You drop him on his back, and more often than not, it just looks like a suplex.
So again, like technically a brain buster landed on the back of his neck.
This was definitely one where he did not actually land on his head. This was one where he landed on the back.
Yeah.
So calling it a brainbuster, I guess that's just something they decided it was because we wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean it just looks like a suplex.
But hey, nice to see the brainbuster come back, I guess.
Yeah.
And not in a form that would actually murder people.
Mm-hmm. There, not to mention like the last minutes of the fight was nothing but just false finishes and reversals and crazy reversals too, like Sami Zayn's tornado DDT being reversed into a targeted cannonball into finally a frog splash. Kevin Owens doing a fucking frog splash.
Oh, I mean that's something he does.
I mean it's something he does, I know, but like,
it's it's impressive every time he does it. Definitely,
yep.
He gets a lot of air.
Gets a lot of air, and that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of like a Donkey Kong boss. He looks like King K. Rool every time he
reminds me of Bowser, kind of.
But that, of course, turning into another false finish with so many half Nelson suplexes and more false finishes, and finally, what does him in? Big old haluva kick. Not just one. He just looks him in the eyes and just says, "No." Puts it back in the corner, rears up, another haluva kick right on the button. Finally puts him down. Finally, Kevin Owens is down. Now that
This was like the scene in The Gladiator, man, where Russell Crowe puts Walking Phoenix. They're both struggling with the knife.
Yeah.
And he takes control of it and just. Yeah. It was. I haven't seen that kind of in character passion in a long time. It was really good.
That like theatrics and acting can elevate a good match into a great match. This was already a great match.
Yeah.
Now this, I feel, match of the year, even more than Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, because.
Wow.
Because as far as Shinsuke Nakamura's wrestling style is concerned, it just looks like everything just fucking hurts.
Yeah.
And everything is so physically impressive, but there was no theatrics to it.
Yeah.
There was beats, there was moments, and there was these oh god, how am I going to put this guy down kind of moments. But that's par for the course as far as two faces are concerned.
Speaking of which, I saw Finn Balor recently going up against Shinsuke.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever, I guess, or at least in the U.S.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not as good as Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke, I don't think.
That's fair to say. But again, I must say that Shinsuke Nakamura fights are great matches. But because he doesn't really have a history with anyone, there really isn't any kind of emotional gravity to it.
I mean, he does have... Well, do you mean kayfabe?
Yeah, like kayfabe.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he does know Finn Balor's family and everything. They know each other well.
No,
I guess they know. I guess him and Sami as well.
Yeah. Like there's
they all fought. In Japan.
You know, like in Japan, and like if you're like well versed in wrestling, if you're well versed and you follow all the independent circuits and you follow what's happening in Japan, then yeah, meta, like as far as the meta narrative is concerned with wrestling, that that there's a lot of history here. But as far as what's happening on the program, then
oh well, actually they did make the actual history the kayfabe history. They said we're both we're friends. They had interviews. We both are good friends. We our families talk to each other.
But they built that up within the week or two.
But it only took about
week or two.
One week literally.
Whereas here this was 5 months in the making.
Yeah.
So I feel like because they were allowed this longer build up, building up from like Sami Zayn eliminating Kevin Owens from the Royal Rumble, to Kevin Owens just dominating him and then costing him the IC title, costing him the ladder match, the Money in the Bank. It was this give and take where even if you weren't aware of them being as indie darlings, if you were just all you knew was WWE, you still were invested in this. And that's missing from like the 5-star matches we've seen this year, or like what can be considered, not Dave Meltzer's opinion notwithstanding. You see your Shinsuke Nakamura fights, well, that's one. I think those are really the only ones that are universally lauded, because Shinsuke Nakamura. People who are wrestling fans who watch NXT are just wrestling fans. Like that's what they do. They know why Shinsuke Nakamura is a big deal, and they know why
AJ Styles,
exactly,
all your guys.
Yeah, exactly. They know about these darlings, and they want to see them fight, so they're creating the hype for them in their head. Yeah, they don't need WWE or booking to get them to get behind this match. Whereas this was like we didn't need booking to get people behind this match, but we booked them well anyway, and it wound up being this match.
And it filled many a night. Yeah, with matches.
Yeah, it was. Excuse me. It was probably the best booked match so far this year. The best booked match.
And you're wondering where can it go from there? Yeah, now that they're both in Raw.
Yeah, like if it was Raw and SmackDown, that's like case closed. But no. Still on the...
Not the case.
No.
So I have to think the feud's going to continue, or maybe they get over the feud and become a team or something like that.
I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting to see where they go from there.
Maybe it turns out he didn't beat Kevin Owens. Maybe Kevin Owens, that was a clone.
There's no way to expand on this match without ruining it. So, wanting to let it stay perfect the way it is, sort of work botch or not, notwithstanding, let's keep it as it is and just move on. I feel move on both in terms of like WWE booking and in terms of this discussion.
I was actually in jest. I didn't actually think he was a.
Oh yeah, I sure hope you weren't. But look, now as far as like the card is concerned, no fight could have succeeded this the previous fight. So, might as well just throw in a stinker. And that's Natalya versus Becky Lynch. I've never been on Becky Lynch's side. I never liked her moveset. I don't like her costume. I think she's a good personality. I think she has a good mic skills. But, as far as everything else is concerned, as far as the wrestling package, I've never been fond of it. However, Natalya is such a terrible heel and is such a mess of a wrestler right now that I feel bad for Becky. That I feel bad for...
You feel bad for Becky.
I feel bad for Becky for having to be beaten by Natalya. I mean, if you want me to be on Becky Lynch's side as a face, there's nothing can make me get behind a face better than seeing them having to lose a terrible heel. And make no mistake about it, Natalya might be the worst heel in working for WWE right now.
I can't argue with that.
Because there's two mindsets when it comes to heels. There's the heels that you love to hate, and then there's the heels that you hate to hate. And they're all on equal footing in the grand thing. But the worst kind of heel are the heels that you do not buy for a moment.
Yeah.
And Natalya, as I may mention before, looks way too kind.
Yeah.
She she wrestles like a face, except for like her retreating out of the ropes every so often. And when she realizes that she's supposed to be heel, she overcompensates.
She's the Martin Short of like heel wrestling at this point.
Yeah, she overcompensates by like getting her in a, what was it, a face lock or was it a headlock? Might have been a headlock. Just getting her in a head. No, it was like a heel lock.
It was like a front face lock or a.
Like it was like an STF, only like she was locking the leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was locking the leg, and she was like, "I love Becky Lynch. She's so beautiful."
Heel things. Heel things.
Yeah, you do not buy her as a heel for one.
And she does the drinking in the heat thing where she just goes. And the bowing over the top. Yes, I'm the greatest.
Yeah, you do not buy for one moment that this woman is a heel.
The whole time, she just has this look of like, almost like your mom trying to, be like, trying to act out a role, in like a kid's school play. Like, it just.
You're really digging in, man.
I am really digging in. I am. It was that bad, though.
It was.
And the thing is, we're not about shortchanging it.
Yeah.
Because what kind of repercussions do we have?
Like Natalya's going to show up at my house.
I mean, the worst thing that could happen is we get attention from these people, and that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Don't tip our hand, man. Come on.
I know.
Show some grace.
I know.
But my point is with Natalya is that she's between a rock and a hard place because of the way she was booked against Charlotte. She looks like a fucking idiot, so she wasn't getting any traction as a face. So all you could do is like, well, if she's not getting over as a face, we got to make her heel. But the booking was so terrible with the heel angle, and she's not wearing the heel persona well at all. I mean, she's no Darth Emma. Darth Emma knows how to.
Oh, Darth Emma was. Oh, talk about a great face turn to heel.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of people who appreciated Emma as a face, not me.
But when
I thought that the Emma sandwich crap was, gonna give you like.
But when she threw on the fucking warlock mantle,
when she put on the motherfucking tier 2 or tier 3 like warlock mantle and the sunglasses and just freaking RoboCopped it up almost, you know. And then she does that little turn. It's like. They even kept like the beginning of her entrance music, but it turns into like this evil version of it. It was just so good. It was so good. It was great. I love it, and I can't wait to see her back. Natalya, on the other hand, great talent, obviously trained in the Heart Dungeon.
Yeah.
A good face. I mean, I think.
Well, look, she was a good face in that same sort of Bob Backlund All-American. Gee shucks, we're gonna do it. Kind of face, but like she was so bland and white meat as a face.
True.
She was like
good face, not great face. Good face.
Good face made but worse heel.
Her face run, her entire face run is just that much better now in contrast to this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's at her best when she is. It's like everybody wants to work outside their box. Everybody wants to go to expand, to do new things.
Yeah.
They don't want to get stuck. And she has always been great when she's standing up for somebody who's an underdog. She's always been great when, as just like a paladin of the women's division.
Yeah.
And
especially when at the time, all the women were kind of booked as mean girls. And I feel like in that face, then she was all right. But the problem was that the book, with a face like that, they need to win sometimes, and she was never going to win against Charlotte. She was, you know how like there's interim championships. she was sort of like an interim between Sasha Banks and any one of the four horsewomen. Natalya never really had a chance, really had a shot at the women's title. She never was going to get it, and all she did was she made her, like, the whole feud just made her look like she was the most easily led, gullible asshole in the entire women's division. And, like, how many times did she fall for, like, Ric Flair's, wooing, and how many times, and even when Dana Brooke, dressed up as fucking Ric Flair.
Oh, that was just, they could have just, like,
Yeah, like, and then, like, the fucking Chicago screw job, because that's a thing too. So, like
I almost thought they were gonna paint, like, paint a scene set on the wall.
Yeah.
And then, like, have her run into it.
Wile E. Coyote style.
Wile E. Coyote style, and that level of gullibility was not doing any favors for her.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't, and seeing the booking break the way that broke, seeing the way the booking affected her character as a face. She could only be a heel, but even, like, one, she's not wearing the heel well, and two, her heeldom is targeted towards the wrong people. Like, it's not Becky Lynch's fault that you got screwed.
The whole thing was contrived as fuck. It didn't make any sense. Like, where's the motivation? Why are you doing it?
Yeah,
Becky Lynch isn't even holding a title. She hasn't been even, really winning matches. She's kind of going into Ziggler territory.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the point in turning heel on someone that you just...
Yeah, like, especially on Becky. All this does is kind of make Becky the most like, Natalya doesn't come out looking good.
No.
Natalya doesn't come out looking good. Becky looks like a beat up little poodle. And I feel sorry for her.
Yeah. And you feel sorry for her.
I feel sorry for her. And I'm like, God, Natalya, what did they do to you? What did they do to you? Well, moving on from
depressing.
Moving on from the worst match of the night to second worst of the night, with Darren Young versus The Miz for the IC title. Why did Darren Young get DQ'd?
That was my exact question. It was since when do you get DQ'd for putting somebody in a submission outside of the ring?
After, like, there was some outside interference on both parties. Bob Backlund...
Limited outside of interference. Nothing that got to the point where they would be eliminated from the... Not even, like, eliminated from ringside, let alone disqualifying the actual competitors. But what the fuck... I've seen people getting submissions all the time outside the ring.
Yeah, like, it just felt like, oh, well, this is where the match is supposed to end.
How many times have you seen, like, the Walls of Jericho or something like that on top of an announce table or whatever,
Yeah.
It's like, this is not unfamiliar territory.
Yeah.
This happens all the time. Why are you... I didn't understand the finish of that match. I didn't understand why they did that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a Miz match, so Maurice was going to play, the interferer in this match, but so did Bob Backlund. And, like, Maurice tried to do the whole, like, Bob Backlund hit me, but I don't know why she did that, because
it just ended up distracting the Miz.
Yeah, and like, it didn't distract the referee to do something, so that way the Miz could do something to fucking Darren Young.
All she ended up doing was distracting the Miz so that Darren Young could go after him and get the upper hand.
Yeah, like, Bob Backlund didn't do shit in this match. He ripped off his shirt like in a come at me bro kind of way, but even
he failed at it too.
Yeah,
he tried to get it off, but the suspenders held it in position on his front, so his arms were trapped in the sleeves. Yeah, and so he was just kind of stuck, almost like in a straight jacket.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the most.
It wasn't the most dignified look.
It certainly was not. And apparently, just the Miz shoving Bob Backlund just was enough for Darren Young to go ballistic and start, putting him in the crossface chicken wing. And apparently that's enough to get DQ'd.
I guess the cross-face chicken wing is just an illegal move. Because what else could it be?
I don't know. And apparently, like, the only one notable thing in this match was when The Miz had Darren in a headlock, and he's looking at Bob Backlund. It's like, "You're not a Hall of Famer. I'm a Hall of Famer." No, Miz, he actually is
He actually is
a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but then again, so are some other people.
Yeah, like actual
like Drew Carey,
Drew Carey,
Donald fucking Trump,
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't be too angry at Snoop Dogg. I mean, like,
Nah.
he needs to be in every Hall of Fame. I can imagine him just showing up in the middle of, like, some agricultural town because they have a Hall of Fame for farmers, and there's Snoop.
Yeah. But still, Snoop has more of a place in the Hall of Fame than, Hornswoggle.
Ooh. Ouch. Ouch.
Ooh.
Ouch. That's some heat. That's some real heat.
Wait, are there actually people who like Hornswoggle?
No.
I didn't know that.
No, I don't know, but at least Hornswoggle got in the wrestling ring and took bumps.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's just, boy, they put him in some really fucking bad stuff.
I'm not making that argument. I'm not making that argument at all.
I mean, it's just...
But at the very least, you could call him a wrestler. You'd stretch the definition. You would have to stretch the definition further for Snoop Dogg than you would for Hornswoggle. Say it. Say it.
Kevin McAllister.
Fuck you.
I want to see Macaulay Culkin in the ring. I want him to be in the Hall of Fame.
The wispy, heroin-thin Macaulay Culkin.
Yes. Hardcore champion.
Even putting the cruiserweight belt on him would seem like a joke.
Yes. Alone in a cell.
Before you lose your mind, let's which is arguable that you haven't done that already, but second to last match on the card, and I wanted this to be better. I'd call this the most disappointing match of the night. It's the most disappointing, not the worst, not even the second worst, and it wasn't even really that bad of a match, but it was disappointing because I was expecting more than what I got. But it did start off pretty well. It was John Cena and Cass and Enzo versus AJ in the club. Started off with one of the better promos that Enzo has ever made, but including a list of advice that included, but not limited to, not wearing Crocs. But apparently, in Enzo's case, leopard print overalls is fly as shit.
So I think we figured out, or we understand, that Enzo Amore works because it's not any one thing. If it was just the overalls, leopard print overalls, or just the hair, or just this or that, just the poop emoji, it would be kind of lame. Mm-hmm. But if you put it all together, that's Enzo Amore.
Yeah, it's just more. It's one of those. It's one of those, like, the sum of the parts is greater than
yeah.
The sum is better than the sum.
Like when you see a guy with those chains and shit, and maybe a Flavor Flav, like, clock or medallion or whatever the fuck, bling. It's kind of like, you're like, look at that idiot, look at that fuck boy.
But like,
but when you see the entire fucking getup, you're like, that at least takes fly shit.
That at least takes effort.
Yeah.
But like, they had the nerve to make fun of AJ Styles' soccer mom haircut. Says the guy whose hair looks literally like a leopard print poodle.
I like the AJ Styles haircut. It works great for him.
It does.
He looks way better with it than that short, almost buzz, spiky hair thing he had going on back in the early career.
But as I said, the match was a fairly typical Enzo and Cass match. A lot of fastball specials towards the club and lots of, that same kind of rhythm that we've been building. Although, funnily enough, John Cena didn't enter the match until like it's halfway done, and he kind of looked like he was like...
It was like nobody could see him.
John Cena just like, come on, guys, I want to play too.
I'm John Cena.
I'm John Cena. But, I don't know, like from everything else about the match afterward, though, it seemed pretty screwy. I mean, like this, like unlike the previous 6-man tag match with the New Day and the Wyatt family, you never were confused over who was the legal man. You always could follow what was happening in the match. Mm-hmm. Here, not so much, and that's where it broke down for me.
Lots of ins and outs and ins and outs.
Lots of ins and outs of like who's the legal man, who's blah.
It's just like, where's the P? Where's the P?
Mm-hmm. It was one of those matches where it's like the mechanics of it are its downfall. The personalities were there, the story was arguably there, but it just, I don't know if it wasn't. I can't really lay one thing. I can't lay one party to blame over why this match didn't go over like it should have. I think it was just like they couldn't gel all together as a cohesive unit to actually make a 6-man tag match work. Although, even though it got like really screwy and hard to follow towards the end, it was livened up by one of my favorite moves that John Cena has ever done, and that's always the always welcomed elevated AA. And, say what you will about the AA being, just kind of as someone once colorfully put, a castrated rings of Saturn.
That's good.
Say what you will about that, but, at the very least, when you see AJ Styles literally toss from over his shoulders, nearly do like a full 450 splash as he travels down from the elevated AA, slammed on the ground, I can believe that he, stays down for the count from that. And, true enough, he did, and lol, Cena wins. But I'm not so angry about it. I'm not as angry.
Nah.
I mean, I wanted fucking AJ to win. But, I feel like this is good material to work with for SmackDown continuing forward. Because now he doesn't have Enzo and Cass, but neither AJ has the Bullet Club. So it'll be interesting to see where the two will wind up.
The club.
Yeah, the club. It'll be interesting to see the club and Enzo and Cass interact on Raw. But on SmackDown, I think that's where the meteor, not like
the meteor,
like woo, nothing like that. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. And
you can't say Bullet Club, but you can say Balor Club. Is that right?
I don't know. Well, I think you could say Balor Club.
It seems odd that he wouldn't be able to use his own name. For his own club,
so
it was his club.
It was his club,
even if it was in Japan. But.
Yeah, like some weird trademarking rules that said like you can't call him Bullet Club because that's owned by New Japan Pro Wrestling or whatever. I wasn't planning on talking about the highlight reel segment. But then Randy Orton came around and just...
yeah, welcome back, Randy Orton. I'm glad to see you.
Mm-hmm. Randy Orton was a very much a welcomed sight. And that would have been enough for me. But then he starts throwing shade. Well, just artisanally crafted shade.
Yeah.
And, Jericho, served him up a fat pitch by saying, like, why in the world would you come back from a 9-month, healing process to face Brock Lesnar? And he said, Well, think about it. If I came back after a 9-month absence and I fought
Fandango,
which Jericho did, so that was so forgettable. I forgot that he fought.
I forgot too. I was like, wait a minute, did he actually do that? Ooh.
I originally thought that it was just throwing shade at Fandango, but then I realized, wait a minute, no, that was directed at fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, ooh. That was some premium grade shade, but he wasn't done.
No, that wasn't even the best.
That wasn't even the best, and they were talking about continue on with Brock Lesnar, and he was just, chiming on and on and on. And so, he might suplex me 15, 16, 17, 18, what is it, 20 times?
20 times? Is that how many suplexes it takes to get to Suplex City?
Well, it takes only one RKO to get to Viperville. And no enhancement required.
Yeah, good pause, good beat, good pause.
Good pause.
No enhancement required.
Drops the microphone.
And you can the whole crowd is just like,
oh!
Just suck the oxygen right out of the stadium.
You might as well play that gif of the black people just going, oh!
Falling back.
Oh, and then there's one guy just kind of like, yeah, I said it. That was...
It's just, and Randy Orton's thinking like, yeah, it's actually going to be 200 suplexes, isn't it?
Oh, dem some heat.
Ooh, yeah. And we all know that you don't want to piss off Brock Lesnar. I don't mean in a kayfabe way. You just don't want to piss off Brock Lesnar.
Dude will potato your head until Dude will potato your head until your head turns into an actual potato.
Yeah, don't sandbag Brock. Thou shalt not sandbag Brock Lesnar.
Or
Least thou be
power bombed onto your fucking neck.
Yeah. Least thou be paralyzed from the neck down.
And of course
and then apparently everything but teabagged.
And of course Jericho eats an RKO right at the end of it. Nice clean little segment. Thank you Randy, for being who you are.
Yeah.
Even though you are a bit rapey.
Well, we just recently saw a pay-per-view that really gave him a run for his rape money.
2005 Unforgiven. Oh, and Kurt Angle wanted to go after Shamel. I want to have sex with you.
Check this shit out.
Yeah, if you have this,
it is. I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen this before. It was Ruthless Aggression. I missed a lot of that, I guess. And boy, did I miss out on some real golden frickin' promos
of Kurt Angle. Like,
holy shit,
Kurt Angle just like, I'm gonna fuck Shamel.
Why does Kurt Angle keep getting those angles?
I have no idea.
It is so bizarre.
It is. Ooh. That was something hard to watch.
Yeah.
That was something hard to fucking watch. Also, the pay-per-view also ends with like a great I Quit match between JBL and John Cena.
Oh yeah. Dual crimson masks.
Mm-hmm. Although John Cena,
I didn't realize that he had a match where he was that wet with blood. It was
like it was full,
just down the chest and everything. He was just completely blood bathed, like Red Wedding.
Yeah, like check it out. As I said, if you're,
I'm pretty sure JBL is now John Cena blood type. You know.
Yeah. Congratulations! Now you got hepatitis C.
But you can't hepatitis C me.
Last match of the night. And I find this to be more and more true the more I watch them. Whenever a Roman Reigns match is happening, it always begins so slowly. It's like the match never begins well. Never, ever, ever begins well. It just doesn't. Like, it's the slowest, most prodding, most, like, dumb, dull match you could possibly imagine. But at the end, there's some good shit. But you have to go through, like, this minefield of, like, oh, you're just wasting my fucking time.
Yeah.
And then it starts kicking up into high gear. Like, okay, I'm invested in it. Like, oh my god.
They may as well just be fucking doing their stretches and cherry picks and, you know, just like, all right, we're getting into a match here.
Yeah. Like, it really didn't get in.
Come on, I'll stretch your back out. All right.
Yeah. Like, it really didn't get into high gear until, like, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose just ganged up on fucking Roman
Reigns
and just beat him like senseless, like little kids, like bam, 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 like a blanket party.
Yeah, you know, like the typical, like, you know, girly, you know, back in the old 90s, like, girly beatdown kind of.
You're like, hey, let me go, you mean man, that kind of.
Yeah.
But, you know, like
flailing.
You know, like this flailing on. And flailing a fucking Roman, and he has to sell it like he's being pelted with fucking hail. Oh.
Even though he has a fucking bulletproof vest.
Yeah. But again, when they teamed up against Roman and then just basically powerbombed him through the Spanish announce table.
I mean, you know what I liked about this, and this is going back to what we were talking about with improv and spontaneity in the ring, and how much room you have to do it. And the audience the entire audience was united in booing Roman Reigns. Not that this is the first time that happened, but there's usually like a large group of you know, I'm just gonna say there's a large group of mostly children and women who really find him attractive, who will root for him. And this time that didn't happen. You didn't hear the higher pitched voices saying "Go Roman" or whatever. Let's go Roman. It was just a complete boo fest. because now like the children who liked him, now he's the guy who failed his performance. And now the parents are telling him, oh, Roman's a bad guy, you don't like him. And it's like, so yeah, he got all the boos this time, and and it seemed like at a certain point that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins were listening to the audience and giving them what they wanted, because I think it was one of them pointing at the audience like, you want this?
Yeah,
you want this? Like, okay, they take him out. They take him out of the ring. And they load him up for a powerbomb, and the other guy, I think it was Dean, spikes him. Seth Rollins, I think was it Seth Rollins who did it?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and Dean gives him the little spike, the punctuation mark on it, and they put him through a table, and the crowd goes wild. And it's like, well, that's unexpected.
No, I mean, like, there might have been a point that they anticipated that Roman would have so much heat on him that there will be a time where we could pop the audience if we put you through a table. I mean, like, there's nothing to suggest that Roman's character is going to be anything other than what he is. So if they are dog determined to make him a face, then no place to go but up. You are now universally hated. You are now universally hated. And it's up to you to win the crowd back over. And I want Roman to do it. Because if he does it, this will be the greatest face story in WWE history. No one has went from that much hated to that much loved. Not even, like, say... Like, even if Shawn Michaels, biggest villain in Canada as far as Canada is concerned.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't able to get them back. I don't think even when he retired, he still got boos.
Yeah.
So, like, to get that much amount of nuclear heat as a wrestler, and try to turn minds and heads, saying, like, yeah, you're right, like, I was pushed way too early, I was... obviously the favorite, and that came at the cost of some of your favorite wrestlers, and I wish who am I to say, like, no, it should go to him? Nobody gets in this business to be selfless, not in that way at least. And I understand that you're angry at me for that, but guess what? I'm in the doghouse now. I don't have the WWE Heavyweight Champion. I lost it twice. Not only did I lose it clean, I lost a triple threat match clean. That, the champion retained, the champion you loved.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what do you want me to do? Like, go back down to the mid-card? Like, do you want me to volunteer myself to be, like, jobbing to fucking Zack Ryder? I mean, at that point, you might as well just be, like, flagellating yourself. The only way that this guy can ever get back on track...
Take the dust off first.
Yeah, like, the only way for Roman Reigns to get back on track is... Well, he has to improve where he's been lacking, severely lacking, and that's his mic work. He cuts a horrible promo. Always has. And if he is determined to improve himself in that, then I'll applaud him. I don't want to hate Roman Reigns.
He should become the third Uso.
So it becomes a stable instead of a tag team?
Yep. The Cock Block Express.
That's just so that you can have an excuse to never watch him again. It's like, oh, it's the Usos.
I just want to throw all the stuff into one bag and just put it away. But no. The truth is, it's a weird thing. I mean, when a lot of people, when most of the audience is against somebody, I can't help it. I start to root for them a little.
Mm-hmm. Hence your fascination with Ryback. I mean, you're the only guy I know who'll go to bat for Ryback. I'll go to bat with you for Sheamus, but I will not go to bat for Ryback. There's just not much to the guy. I mean, I like to see him wrestle sometimes, but it's... When he has Muppet mouth... The guy has Muppet mouth, come on.
You saw his performance in his last pay-per-view. Yeah,
I saw his performance. He was fine in the ring, especially when he has to deal with Kalisto. By the way, if you have the chance, look up Kalisto's, when he just got drafted and he's getting an interview. Worst interview you've ever heard in your life. It is terrible.
Ooh.
Like, he's so excited, like, he's out of breath, and he's just like, I just want to prove that I'll be the best thing. Bye. And he just bolts. It's terrible. Like, I mean, as much as Cesaro was uncomfortable and saying some things he probably shouldn't have, Kalisto was just amateur hour. He looked and
just like kind of like a fan who's just overwhelmed.
he looked like a kid.
Yeah.
He looked and acted like a goddamn kid. Oof. But steering us back to the match itself,
Yeah.
what after the powerbomb spot, you're thinking, okay, all right, and then I was thinking like this match was going to end in a DQ or a dirty finish, so that way the title doesn't have to change hands, but nobody has to go over the other. But instead, what Seth Rollins decides to do is like hit Dean with a chair. And I'm thinking, okay, DQ. But then it's like, wait a minute, there's no disqualifications. When was that stipulation part of this triple threat?
Yeah.
Like, there's no count outs.
I don't remember this. This pay-per-view had some problems with that.
Yeah.
With stipulations, like the crossface chicken wing.
Yeah.
Since when are you disqualified for doing a submission outside the ring? Since when?
Like since when? They said in no uncertain terms when they introduced the challengers. They said like this is a triple threat match for the WWE Heavyweight Championship.
I don't remember them saying
like, this
no
is
disqualification.
There will be no disqualification. There will be no countouts. Nothing like that.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. No, me neither. So I look at that and thinking, oh well, at least now there has to be a clear, decisive. There's no room. There's literally no room.
And remember, you called it being a disqualification
I thought,
outcome, and you would have been right if they hadn't just
if they just hadn't
reminded us. Oh, at the last second. Oh, this is a no disqualification.
No DQ. So
no DQ. So
you know what? Fine. All right. I'll take a clear victor. I mean.
Yeah.
And then it just got more heated from there, and all of a sudden there's the false finishes, and all of a sudden there's the interrupted finishers, and then seeing Roman kick out of the pedigree again, which you felt was okay, they're trying to regain some steam against Roman, but then no, Dean plans some dirty deeds after Roman literally speared Seth Rollins, tried to go for the cover, but no, Dean goes for the dirty deeds and pins him clean.
Yeah.
So he lost those matches clean both times. He lost the championship match to Seth Rollins clean, and he lost to the triple threat clean. So this is, I think,
punishment.
This is management punishing him, and this is and Seth now is kind of like, I don't know, flapping in the wind, as it were, because you can't.
Because he was relying on the feud.
He was relying on the feud, and now all he has to rely on now is Roman. Neither of them have the title. So it just feels like, okay, well, they're going to feud for the next title, I suppose. Which I think Seth will win.
The whole Shield brotherly rivalry thing it's not really wowing me.
No.
Maybe the Shield never really wowed me to begin with.
Mm.
I didn't get to see a lot of it. I only got to really sample it when I got back into wrestling. But it's not... There were matches and feuds that I was way more invested in than this one.
All things being equal, I do believe that this match ended the best way it could, because you want to keep Seth strong, but you need the belt on Dean, mainly because like having the champ on SmackDown will do well to get SmackDown. It's
higher ratings.
Get its sea legs, as it were. Now, that just kind of leaves Roman. Like I said, twiddling his thumbs, going like, okay, so I move on to a feud with Seth, I guess, for the new World Heavyweight Championship, I suppose. I don't know what they're going to call it. There's going to be a blue belt and a red belt, and they're going to be feuding over the red belt.
Yeah. Which,
again, fine and dandy, sweet as candy, but I don't know, it kind of feels like the writing's on the wall for Roman. Like, he no longer has curried the favor of WWE's push. Especially since he was the one, he was the weakest link as far as the structure of the match is concerned. He was the one, who lost clean to Seth, and now he's lost clean to Dean. So I'm thinking, what's the point of, raising up hopes that Roman's going to get the second title?
Yeah.
Other than Seth needs somebody to fight for the title.
Roman is really in a bad place right now. He's really fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, all things being equal, I'll credit Roman for sticking with it. I mean, it would be easy to shuck and jive with the audience and just be heel. But I don't know.
He doesn't have really any other. He doesn't have anywhere else to go.
He's.
I don't have anywhere else to go.
I mean, like
he doesn't. He doesn't have a film career.
No,
like Bautista did when he got
booed out of the building.
I don't know if he even got as booed as. I don't think Bautista got booed as much as Roman Reigns has.
Oh no,
certainly not collectively. Like Bautista, he just threw his hat in, I guess. I mean, I don't know what his contract looked like when he. I think that he just kept going to like promos and stuff. But then he was gone. It's that though because he didn't deserve that kind of heat. In this case, though, I mean, how can you defend Roman Reigns? It's just kind of hard to.
You can't say he cheated. He cheated at a predetermined match.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, you can't go.
You can't say that he did that. No.
You could say he's fucking stupid.
You could say he's stupid.
You could say
I don't know. Well, the thing is, we don't know what kind of substance it was that he abused. We don't. Was it weed? Was it alcohol? Was it?
No, it wasn't
performance enhancement.
It was some kind of illegal substance. It's like, was not alcohol.
You were saying it might have been weed.
I'm saying it might have been weed because that seems like the thing that it's harmless enough for Roman to do but still being actionable. And
the way they put it, it sounded like it was a performance enhancement.
Yeah, but I think that's like they didn't want to come out and say like, "Oh, you smoked weed," because then you still
just like a lot of people. Everybody fucking smokes weed these days. Nobody could really relate to punishing him for that very well.
Yeah, like nobody wants to if they kept it, like vague, then like you failed a drug test. Now in the mind's eye, can fill in the gaps and saying like, well, what was it? It could have been weed, but it could also be steroids. It could also be like Ritalin. It could be a lot of things, and you don't want to say it's weed because you're not going to get any kind of heat from that.
No,
you're not. You're just not.
Heat box, but not kind of.
Yeah, like as I said, there's no there's no good thing to come out of this for Roman Reigns, especially. He's still in the main event picture, but
I was kind of hoping that they'd take a kind of, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you turn the corner and you see Roman Reigns shooting up.
Like
oh, hey there.
He's the most muscle-bound heroin addict I've ever seen. I mean, like Macaulay Culkin could have had that angle, but not, but not Roman. But like I said, it's most likely weed because that's just that just feels like the most logical.
But it's also like the most lame thing. It would have been the most lame thing to go with as an angle.
Yeah, so like they've had to keep it vague.
They turn him into frickin' C.J. Parker or something. I mean,
or like the people are already angry at us for stripping away fucking RVD's title because we caught him getting high. You caught RVD getting high. You are fucking bunch of Sherlocks working at WWE. I tell you that.
Did you ever find him not?
The way I figure it, like if he was able to do everything he did while higher than Everest, give him the second belt.
Look at how that worked out for Jeff Hardy.
I mean, like if Stone Cold had the Smoking Skull belt and fucking Rock had the Brahma Bull belt, why don't we just get him the pot belt with a big old pot laying right in the center?
Yeah, they could have ran with that. Yeah, maybe that would have been a way to win Roman Reigns over for the crowd.
Maybe it's like the match stipulations. Like if you want to wrestle for the pot belt, you have to at least take in 2 pot brownies before the match.
And maybe he does his spear. He goes.
Let's if you're gonna do it, do it. It's fucking wrestling. Let's not kid ourselves to think that this is a business that's predicated upon dignity. Own it, feel it, use it. All right, but yeah, that was Battleground. I like the way it ended. I love some of the matches in this card altogether.
Yes,
altogether very very fun.
Great pay-per-view.
Great pay-per-view. Yeah. And, just like with every pay-per-view, you just gotta swallow the shit sometimes. Although this shit was not nearly as, toxic and chokeworthy as, let's say, Payback. Payback's still pretty terrible.
Yeah, Fastlane, Payback.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, just nothing good came out of those. A lot of good came out of this.
Yeah.
A lot of
Absolutely.
a lot of good. But next time, SummerSlam.
It's coming.
It's coming. Even though
Is your bulge ready for SummerSlam?
Vince has been printing and primping my bulge just to get it ready for SummerSlam.
I've been doing pretty well on my own. But we're ready for SummerSlam. Are you ready for SummerSlam?
My bulge is Vince's favorite bulge. Till next time.